In the heart of the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania lies a 2.5-mile racetrack in the shape of a triangle. Long Pond, Pennsylvania is the site of the 15th DeWalt Cup Series race of the 2025 season at the Pocono Raceway. 3 distinct corners, 3 right lengths of straightaways, and a lot to get right for the drivers and teams today in the Turkey Hill 400. We'll see which group masters the track after 32 laps here on JRTV. Welcome everyone to the Pocono Raceway. Glad to be up in the booth for this one. Trey joined me in the booth. Home track race for us. So, great to be back here in the lovely Keystone state of Pennsylvania. How do you think it's going to be here today at the Pocono Raceway? Seeing, it's a very unique racetrack, and I think basically everything about the car, everything about the driver matters here.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic to be back home in the home state, like you mentioned. And Joe, for this track, well, it is called the Tricky Triangle for a reason, right? It's definitely not the easiest track to drive here, as it has essentially 3 different types of corners. So, in terms of how it's going to be race-wise, I don't think I can give you a true answer.
And we look at the front straight here. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of, if not the longest straightaway in NASCAR. Definitely probably the longest on not really an oval, but on a left turn circuit. It's probably the longest in terms of that. It's a 2.5-mile speedway in all. And as you mentioned, Trey, everything's different about this track. 3 corners that are completely unique from each other. 3 different length straightaways, right? You have the very long front stretch. You have the second straightaway, Long Pond straightaway, kind of the medium. And then you have the short chute leading in between turns 2 and turn 3. And these 3 corners, turn 1 based off Trenton Speedway, New Jersey. Turn 2 based off the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Turn 3 based off the Milwaukee Mile. It's so unique of a racetrack, and I think that kind of throws the team owners for a loop, right? You have long straightaways. You have corners that are pretty low grip. Do you want chassis stuff? Do you want engine stuff? Do you want aerodynamics? Do you want reliability because of how this track could maybe eat up equipment? There's a lot for the team owners to go through when you come to Pocono. What aspect of this of the car is the most important to focus on?
I truly think it's got to be cornering, but like you mentioned, Joe, what corner do you focus on? Can't really pass the middle corner. Why am I forgetting the name of
Tunnel turn. Tunnel turn.
That's what it is. It's the tunnel turn. I drew a blank. I don't think you really want to go there. If anything, I kind of feel like you want to set up your car for the final corner heading onto the front straight, because if you get any momentum there, you could really take it the entire way down this, like you mentioned, extremely long front straight and into turn 1. But if you could find a happy medium, all advantage towards you.
That's what's going to make today so fun. What have the teams set up for? What have individual teams within, big teams set up for? Because, Vision Motorsports, Honor Island Motorsports, yeah, they're all one team, but there's different teams within that team, and stuff could be set up differently. Maybe some teams have turn 1 set up, some have turn 2, some have turn 3, while others, like you mentioned, could have a happy medium between all 3. It's going to be fascinating to watch how today plays out, and it could create some shuffling, and it could create some comers and goers. It'll be fascinating. We also have a lot of tire fall off, nearly 2 seconds over the course of a fuel run, which is about 17 to 20 laps. So that'll be fun to watch out as well. We'll see who can save the tires the best here today at the Pocono Raceway, and we'd be remiss to mention that this is also a qualifier, the qualifier race for the in-season tournament. After Charlotte, the top 20 in points locked into their 20 positions, so we know those drivers. Now we have the final 11 drivers. There's 22 drivers that have not yet locked up. That's 11 matchups. The winner of those 11 matchups gets seeded into seeds 21 through 31. So big here today, and the DeWalt Cup Series has decided to try and make it easier to visualize who's competing against each other during this in-season tournament. So here's a little test run for us, Trey, up in the booth. We have these 11 matchups and 11 different color spoilers depending on the matchup. So, for example, you see Levi Schoen's on pole. He has a blue spoiler. You can barely see it there to the left of the car, but he has a blue spoiler for Levi Schoen's. He's competing against Tyler Belladonna. Where is Belladonna in the pack? I don't really know. You have to look for a blue spoiler, but if you can see the blue spoiler somewhere back there, that's where Tyler Belladonna is. I think he's third to last on the outside there. They are competing against each other. They have a blue spoiler. So there's 11 colors, Trey, for these matchups. So throughout the race, if you see the same color spoiler right next to each other, that means that they're competing. Everyone who's currently locked in the top 20 in points have black spoilers. That's how it's going to be throughout the tournament. If you're not in the tournament, if you get eliminated, you'll be on a black spoiler, while the matchups will have a different color spoiler.
Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. It's going to be might be a little bit of a challenge for us to figure it out, but I think we'll do perfectly fine. And it's going to be there's going to be races inside of a race, right? So it'll be interesting to see how everything here develops.
Yes, it will. And I mean, so many races, right? You have not only the race itself, then you have the in-season tournament race, and then you have the race for the points lead, the race for the chase, the race for the wild card. It's gonna be fast. It's a fascinating time for the DeWalt Cup Series here. These next few races throughout the summer should be a fun time here at the Pocono Raceway. Well, Trey, let's get to our predictions to win here today. As last race at Charlotte, you picked Jordan Stout, and you got a massive boost as he finished third. My pick was Chris Jericho, who crashed from the lead. So he finished down outside the top 35, and the gap has grown. You have a 9.0 average finish position. I have a 12.0, so it's 3 spots difference. And as the Gatorade starting grid will start to roll along the left side of the screen, we'll start our picks to win. And I get to go first as my pick was lower at Charlotte. And here today at Pocono, I'm going to take one of the big dogs, one of the big teams. I don't think I've actually picked this driver yet this season. I'm going to take the 11th place starter, number 18 of Bryce Egan. I just, he's been good this season, 2 wins. He just saw Laura Chung go out and win her third to take over the lead in terms of the wins total this season. So I'm going to take Bryce Egan 6th in the point standings. He's been strong. I think he gets his third victory this season and ties Laura Chung for the most wins.
Well, I'm gonna go 1 row in front of you here, Joe, on the bottom line as well. He's finally getting a qualifying position inside the top 10. He was very excited about it. One of my cars, a 00 of William Seaman. He has had a struggle after the first few races. I mean, he has just not been having the season that he wanted to have, but I think he's going to finally turn it around here, Joe. He's inside the top 10 to start out with, and he's on a good line, so we'll have to see if he can slowly move forward here and see what he can do.
All right, we'll have to see how our picks do. They're starting near each other. Will they finish near each other? Only time will tell. And see Steven with that green spoiler. He's one of those drivers that's trying to fight for his position in the in-season tournament. That green spoiler has him matched up with Chris Keselowski a little bit further back. So we have Chris Jericho and Angel Gutierrez. They're in the pink spoilers. They're one matchup. You have Ludovic Charette, Tegan Fox with kind of a teal spoiler on them. Matthew Burnett and Noah Brady have purple spoilers. Levi Jones and Tyler Valladonna, as mentioned, in the blue spoilers. Ryan Wilson and Robert Ashford have white spoilers. Johnny Cox and Joshua Cox are in lime spoilers. As mentioned, William Seaman and Chris Keselowski in a darker green. Anthony Nez and Joe Hendry with red spoilers. Alex Savatoni, Matt as well as the teammates have orange spoilers. They have Cam Wright Jr., Drew Webb with gray, and Bruno Diaclo and Tim Gary in yellow. The pace car is in. 32 laps in the Turkey Hill 400 at the Pocono Raceway. The green flag is waving in the wind, and Levi Jones is on the gas. We're underway from Pocono. Up into the tunnel turn, Laura Chung was looking out 3 wide, thought better of it. This is a very narrow part of the racetrack, and we saw in the start, not only is it a long straightaway, but it's a wide straightaway. Keegan Thompson and some others were looking out 3 wide, trying to make some passes work. Still side by side for a second. Levi Jones gets away. Matt Tuck trying to fend off Gabe Willard, with Laura Chung trying to fend off Keegan Thompson in the 6. Bryce Egan moving up. William Seaman got shuffled to the middle in the start because of Keegan Thompson's big move in the number 6. As they come off turn 3 to the start finish line, Levi Jones gets away and leads the first lap. They're still side by side for a second. Gabe Willard and Matt Tuck not giving in. Keegan Thompson with a draft onto them, nearly looking 3 wide. In fact, it's back there further back. Lathan Strickland was looking 3 wide on Max Davis. That puts DeLello in the middle, and William Seaman still falling back up top. In fact, DeLello pushed up into him, nearly contact there for about 12th place.
Yeah, these guys are not giving themselves a lot of room here to kind of work around each other. They are definitely squeezing everything they can, and like you mentioned, bad start there for the 00. Keegan got a good start, put him up top here, and he's going to fall back, but right now everyone else is still trying to figure out where they want to go. You can see Keegan Thompson is now stuck on the outside, who's holding up. I believe that is Laura Chung and Jude Martinelli behind him, as they're going to start to fall through this field if they can't find a space to the inside.
And how about that power move for Matt Tuck? He was on the outside of Gabe Willard for about a lap for that second position. He actually got clear of Willard. He's still in second, and he's trying to now hunt down Levi Jones. So that 11 car looks pretty strong at this stage in the race. We'll have to see if he can hold it over a long run. But look at those guys fan out down the straightaway. Riley Spurgeon going 3 wide on Thompson and Strickland. A big move there for the EKH Enterprises driver. Spirited one of those drivers up there inside the top 10 and pointed, trying to keep it for the lead. Here comes Matt Tuck looking to the inside on Levi Schoens up the Long Pond straightaway. Doesn't have the power, though, down the straightaway. Schoens outpowered him into turn number 2, so he'll keep that race lead for now. Gabe Willard under fire as Bryce Egan moving up nicely through the field from 11th starting spot. He'll move by Nathan Stapleton and again for the lead. Matt Tuck wants it on Levi Schoens, and I think this time, bottom of turn 3, he'll be able to get it through this flat corner.
We'll have to see what here if the 96 can possibly create some sort of run going down this long straightaway, but I don't think he can if this 27 is going to really pressure him off corner exit. Gabe Willard is there to his inside, Joe, and I think he's going to have a little bit of help from his 18 of Bryce Egan. Actually, Egan's going to go back up top and see if he can push this 96 along.
Yeah, so some interesting shuffling going on there. Where do you want to be? Which lane do you want to be in? You know, at this point, it doesn't look like the inside, the bottom really is much better through certain corners. I think the bottom of turn 3 definitely the dominant force, but depends on the drafting as well that you get down the straightaway, depending on how you can do. Levi Schoens doing a great job through the top of turn 1, pulls even with Willard into the tunnel turn. We'll see if Willard can get clear on the bottom. I think he will. Schoens really washed up there, pushed up the racetrack. That car got tight, and I think he'll surrender third here as well to Bryce Egan. Max Davis moving back up by Riley Spurley too, but Spurley had gotten around him. Davis gets back around, and Drew Martinelli started 4th, fell back on the initial start. He's moving up back for a top 5 spot as he's gaining there. He gets up to 6th, and the top 5 just up the road as well. I think a car actually came down pit road. It was Ryan Wilson. So the 48 car had an issue, came down pit road, and he's one of those drivers in a matchup, right? That white spoiler with Robert Ashford, and at the moment, Ashford would be advancing through, and Ryan Wilson, with an unfortunate issue on that number 48, has him down at the back of the field, praying a caution comes out, because even though he made a pit stop, he can't make it from here either on fuel.
Yeah, so he'll definitely be praying something happens somewhere in this field, but right now, these guys are starting to get spread out, so that possibility is going to become worse and worse as this race goes on, but not impossible, Joe. So we'll have to see what happens as Bryce Egan's going to make a move for second place right now, and Gabe Will looks like he's going to be able to clear him halfway through turn 3 and have a nice clear exit for this front straight here. Now he's going to go chase down his teammate of Matt Tuck, who these two, you think they've gotten over their quarrels?
I hope they have, because Vision Motorsports right now has a pretty... Oh, look at Gabe Willard trying to cross back under.
Oh, he's going to try.
Wow. Luckily, Levi Schoens was there. Otherwise, Bryce Egan may have been getting past for a second right there. That was a close moment right there. Schoens coming back for third on Willard. Riley Spurtube up here as well. Nathan Stapleton, there's the third Vision car at the moment. Max Davis with Jack Haas in front of him. Haas has been moving up nicely from the start. Nathan Strickland also inside the top 10. Jerry Chen just moved by Jude Martinelli for a top 10. And Robert Ashford, we mentioned in that battle with Ryan Wilson. Wilson struggling, and Robert Ashford having a great day. Currently up in 12th place for a Team OSC Racing that has not had all that many great performances this season. Great to see Ashford running well with DeLello and Zidell right behind him. Laura Chung has dropped on the start of this race. She's now back outside the top 15, maybe around 15th place. So Laura Chung struggling at this stage in the race, which is shocking with how well she's done as of late. Here's two guys bound. William Seaman, that's 16th and 17th. Chris Jericho just got by. Teammate Keegan Thompson is really dropping at this stage in the race. Jericho in a fight with Angel Gutierrez for the in-season tournament, trying to lock his way in as Jericho looks low again. This time I think he might have it on William Seaman. That's for 16th. They have Keegan Thompson, Jordan Stout, and Tim Gary, teammates battling right there. Gary trying to move up through the field to get away from his rival in the in-season tournament qualifier, Bruno Giacomo. Phil Torres there just outside the top 20. Ludovic Charette with the Roberto Crown Jr., Matthew Burnett. Brian Rodriguez struggling. It's not been a great day for Tucson Racing at the moment. There's Alex Vitale, bound with his teammate Mathis Wells in the tournament. Noah Brady and Joshua Cox are there. There's Mathis Wells trying to get up there. Jacob Miller, Tegan Fox behind him, Chris Keselowski, Bruno Giacomo, and some of these guys back here have fallen off of that lead pack a little bit and kind of fading back. There's Belladonna, Anthony Hernandez in a battle with Joe Hendry back here. There's Gutierrez, there's Drew Webb, there's Hendry, and there's Ryan Wilson. While we were looking back through the field, Ryan Spurtube up to second by Bryce Egan and trying to chase down Matt Tuck as they come off turn 1. So Riley Spurtube, EKH Enterprises, a team and a driver that have not yet won this season. Could today be the day for Evan Hunter's team as Riley looks pretty good at this stage in the race?
Yeah, he's definitely slowly making his way up through this field right now. And he has his eyes set on the leader, Matt Tuck, who once he got out front, Joe, he's made himself pretty comfortable, but it is not looking like he's going to be comfortable for much longer as we've got some shuffling. Jude Martinelli is still trying to make his way up through this field as Gabe Willard actually he's fallen back, Joe. He was up there battling for the lead, but once he lost that almost, you could say, track position. He's kind of falling through the field right now.
Yeah, Gabe Willard's car was good at the start. I don't know if he's starting to fall off because of tire wear or if it's just being back in that dirty air. But for the lead, Spurgeon with a look into turn one, not quite enough, but I think he was showing the nose saying, listen, Matt, I'm a little bit faster at this stage, and you want to be looking in your mirror trying to make some mistakes right here. But now Riley has to fend off Matt Tuck's teammate Bryce Egan, who had a run through turn one, but Riley gets a push up. He's looking low again to the tunnel turn. Does he dive it? He does! To the inside of the tunnel turn. Riley Spurley for the lead through turn two. Side by side with Matt Tuck now up the short chute into turn three. This bomb lane should be the advantage for Riley Spurley, and it will be into the corner. New leader, car number 28, now out in front in the Turkey Hill 400. And Bryce Egan falls through to second, and Nathan Stimpton's going to fall through to third. Matt Tuck, in the span of a corner, lost 3 positions back to fourth place. Maybe even a fourth position.
Unfortunately for Tuck here, I mean, he was definitely slower than some of these guys behind him, and it was creating a line, and he's going to be stuck up top here, Joe, until he can find a space, which might be just here behind Levi. So if I was Tuck, I'd just kind of let him go and fall back into place here, settle in fifth for a little bit and see what you can do. But he's going to battle him, which is going to allow the 23 Jack Haas to get back up here. And if Jack Haas can time it right, he's going to get almost, 2 positions possibly here if he can do it correctly.
Nathan Stapleton trying to make something good for Otter Island Motorsports, who kind of are struggling here today. I mean, Laura Chung is still dropping back. She's even behind her teammate Philip Torres now. She's outside the top 20, and she started this race, fourth place? So, I think it was 5th place. So, Laura Chung struggling at this stage in the race, while her teammate Nathan Stapleton moves up, and be another shift in terms of the points lead, right? Laura had just taken it after Charlotte, where she won that one, and all the guys around her DNF'd or had bad days, and Stapleton trying to take it back. Look at these moves. This is for second place. Nathan Stapleton had it. Bryce Egan going to take it immediately back away, and Levi Jones was looking on as well, looking for a pass. Matt Tuck battled with Levi Jones there, cost him another spot to Jack Haas, and maybe some more. Here comes Gabe Willard getting a push from Lathan Strickland into the tunnel turn. I mean, literally was pushing him off into that corner. Willard gets the inside, and Matt Tuck again. He was leading just, a lap or two ago. Now he's outside the top 5 and has fallen back even more. So this number 11 car struggling, can't find a way to the bottom, and they just keep passing him.
Yeah, he's not having a good time right now. He's essentially in survival mode right now, just trying to find a space, but it is getting worse and worse as the time goes on, and he cannot be the most calm driver in that 11 car, but sooner or later he'll end up finding his spot in line, and we're going to be looking. Joe, I thought we were going to be looking 3 wide.
Oh, yeah, we were looking there, but some cars got clear. Matt Tuck finally gets clear. He'll fall in front of Gabe Willard. That will be position number 6 for Matt Tuck. In fact, he has a run going to 5th place, Levi Jones. They battled for a second again, and once again, it's Nathan Stimpton ahead of Bryce Egan for P2. They have to sort this out, because if they don't, Ryan Spurgeon can just try and pull away in that number 28 car. But great to see EKH Enterprises running up front, leading laps in this race. They've been a good team this season, don't get me wrong. I think they're actually up there 4th in the team points, but they've kind of struggled to show race winning speed. Evan has described it perfectly, where he said we're like a 7th to 15th place team in terms of where our cars run. And while it's good, right, they have all 3 guys battling for chase spots at this stage in the season. They haven't led many laps. They haven't shown much race-winning pace. But here today, Ryan Spurgeon is showing the pace, currently leading the way. And someone I want to highlight that's just moved inside the top 10 is this number 54, Chris Jericho. What does he have to do, Trey, to win a race? I mean, he's had basically everything go wrong for him. He was running so well at Richmond, had to pit after a pit stop on the restart, fell a lap down, never could get it back, and never could recover. You think to Kansas, he was leading there, had a tire go down, came down pit road from the lead of that race. At Boston, he was leading coming to the white flag, ran out of fuel from the lead. At Texas, he was leading on the final restart. Lap traffic got in the way, he lost the lead and actually lost the top 10 because of that. And then last week at Charlotte, he was dominating it, leading at the 50 lap mark, and he got crashed by back markers. What does Jericho have to do to win one of these DeWalt Cup Series races?
Maybe not lead the thing to the last lap.
Maybe.
I think the less time you spend up front for this 54 is probably the better. It's weird to say, right? But the trend just leads that way, if I'm being honest. He's trying to pass Jerry Chen right now. This 54 has speed, but it's just the luck doesn't come with the speed.
And the annoying thing about the luck not coming with the speed is that you need the luck to also make it into the chase. At the moment, Jericho's down 21st in points and needs to be perfect through the rest of the regular season to either get a wild card spot or to try and get inside the top 10 in points. And I mean, he's had the speed to be in the chase. He's had the speed to be a championship contender. He has the second most laps led this season, Trey. But he's just kind of struggled to finish the races out. He doesn't quite yet have a top 5 finish this season. And here today, he started 17th, was mired back mid-pack for most of the opening stages of the race. Now as we get towards the midway point, he's starting to move his way up, going for 8th on Jerry Chen, one of the top drivers in the season so far this season. So Chris Jericho is fast once again at a speedway, and that car just needs to hold together, or they have to hold together the drivers around him for him to finish this race out how he kind of deserves it. He just gets to 8th there, and I think he has more in store for the rest of this field. He could win this race for sure, even after starting back at 17th. I think his car is fast enough to do that. Jude Martinelli, another driver who has been good this season, nearly pushed Matt Tuck up there as Tuck goes wide, but Martinelli's been fast this season. He's been good this season. Not quite yet the race winning pace, but Martinelli is up there battling for a chase spot. He's one of the underdogs, I think, that could make it into the chase. We don't talk about him much, but he has the speed to contend with the top dogs. In fact, Fos Autosport has only been getting better as the season goes along. Speaking of getting better, these front three have pulled a gap over 4th on back, and that might be due to some assistance with the number 48, Ryan Wilson, being out in front with some drafting help, but they're catching up to him right as they're going to have to make green flag pit stops. We're halfway this next time by, so the pit window will open when they cross the start-finish line to pit and make it to the end of the race on fuel and tires. And Riley Spurgeon, Nathan Stapleton, Bryce Egan want to keep this gap, but Jack Haas, Levi Schoen, the teammates battling back there for 4th. They want to try and catch up as Riley gets to the inside of Ryan Wilson, and will put that number 48 1 lap down. So a tough break there for Ryan Wilson. Whatever went wrong early on this race has now ruined and derailed his entire race. He needs to hope a caution comes out in the middle of pit cycles and he can stay out a little bit longer, try and get back on the lead lap that way.
What do you think the chances are something like that happens during pit cycles?
Well, you never know. You never can know. I mean, we've seen in the past at Pocono, this merge point is weird. There's no apron in turn 1. So when you merge out of pit road, you are merging right onto basically the racing line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen something like that, but it doesn't happen too often as we look back on Jericho. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
That was almost a staggered 3 wide coming off of turn 1, which would have been very weird to witness, but it would not have been a surprise with the way these guys race each other, as Jericho's going to get put up top, which is not what he wants right now, because that means essentially he is going to fall back unless he can find a gap right now. But I think at the moment, this gaggle of cars are really, I don't know if they're pushing their stuff or if they're all just kind of like half throttling it, trying to figure out what they want to do.
Look at Jericho. Cars are pitting now. Here we go. The leaders are coming in.
Oh, here we go. Oh, a lot of guys are coming in.
Yep, that's basically most of the front runners. Jericho stayed out, so he'll get a lap led here. That's a bonus point. Big for him. He needs every point he can get. But the race leaders are in. In fact, about half of the field is in. So split strategy here at the Pocono Raceway. I'd say more than half the field just came in right here. And the question is...
Wow. All right. Yeah, this is a lot of... Sorry, I was going to say something, but then I started looking, and I was like, this is a lot more drivers than I expected to come in right now.
The question is, what will work? Is it going to be the undercut or the overcut? Because the tires do wear pretty fast here. It's not like, oh, they start wearing after 10 or 15 laps. They start wearing after about 5 laps. So even this 1 lap early, right, it could hurt the long run pace. Great stop by the 28 and the 75. They get away. Bryce Egan a little bit slower on pit road will fall back into the clutches of Jack Haas. And everyone doing a great job on pit road. It's a wide pit road, so you shouldn't have too many issues when coming out.
All right, being the owner that I am, Joe, I don't see a single Meme Motorsports come in throughout this entire group.
You guys did work together on pit strategy last
week. Here they go. Here they all come now.
Last week, all of your cars undercut at Charlotte. This week, they're all overcutting at Pocono all together. So that's 2 weeks in a row, Trey. Your team has stayed together on strategy.
Hey, man, I just fork over the money, and I trust them to do what they need to do. So
here comes the rest of the field. This is maybe about 12, 15 cars on this cycle. So most of the field came in first. I don't think
anyone stayed out longer, so
nope.
It should be the rest of them.
Yep, that is everyone. Here come the leaders through turn 3. Jericho with a great pit stop. He gets down and away. Remember, he was the top runner of the guys that came in under this one. In fact, he was really the only one of the front runners that stayed out longer. So he might hurt early on, because there go the leaders by. Riley Spurgeon and Nathan Stapleton have gotten a gap. Here comes Jericho merging.
Now remember this weird blend line here. You got to be careful.
Yep, so he's staying low and everyone's staying the lane up. In fact, for Jericho, it's not going to hurt too badly, it doesn't look like. He's going to be about where he was, actually. So, in fact, he might have actually gained, because he pulls up in front of Levi Schoen and blocks off the advancement right there.
Oh, there it is. If you don't know exactly where you're going to form into line, you might as well just make your own spot.
Yep, and Levi Jones and Drew Martinelli have tires up to temp, so they will get by. But Jericho will slot in, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 7th place. He was, what, 6th or 5th when he came in. So I think, that one lap, it could help him in the long run, and it didn't hurt him really in the short run. So for Jericho, I think that was a great strategy call. They got the lap led as well, so they got a bonus point there, and they're going to cycle out about where they were. As the front two have really gotten away. Ryan Spurgeon and Nathan Stapleton have a great gap over 3rd place Bryce Egan. It's now 2.5 seconds from Egan up to Nathan Stapleton, and only about a quarter of a second separating the top two. So you have Egan there. Stapleton gets a little bit of a run off turn 1, but it kind of stabilizes. So Egan all by himself in 3rd. Battle for 4th between two Galway Automotive drivers. Jake Galway might want to look away as they're side by side. Levi Jones getting a push from Martinelli to get up to 4th. Martinelli to 5th, and Jack Haas back to 6th because that Martinelli with a dive. He'll get to 4th place on Levi Jones. So he wanted both those Galway Automotive cars out of his way, and he does it.
All right. So I think this is going to be the biggest battle right now going on with these 4 drivers because everyone else is pretty spread out as they are. So unless, like we mentioned, that one lap, could it make that big of a difference?
That's a good ways to go, though. 4.5 seconds. That would be a good ways to gain. And he didn't gain that time. He actually lost 3/10 because he's back here in this traffic of the Galway Automotive cars and all those guys battling there. You see Ryan Wilson. He had to come back down pit road again and didn't get that caution that he needed. So tough break there for Ryan Wilson, who looks like he's going to be eliminated from contention in the in-season tournament after today at the Pocono Raceway. Nathan Stapleton has gained on Riley Spurgeon all over the back bumper of that EKH Enterprises car. Will he make a move into turn 3? He's on the bumper. He's close enough to do it if he wants to send it to the inside, but he is going to think better of it for now. Maybe he doesn't want to battle quite yet, because if they start battling, Bryce Egan and the others could catch up side by side, and while the rest of the guys are single file. But Nathan is there, showing Riley, hey, I am fast. Egan there. Jack Haas back by Levi Jones for 5th. Jericho will look for 6th, and you have Jerry Chen. He's up in the 8th position. Lathan Strickland, another solid day in 9th. Matt Tuck in 10th. Remember, he was leading a lot early on, but has dropped back. They have Gabe Willard, Zachary DeLello, Max Davis, Zidell, and Torres. Mathis Wells has moved up in front of his teammate Alex Sanvitale to try and qualify for the in-season tournament. Robert Ashford still having his great day inside the top 20. Crown Jr. and Tim Gary are inside the top 20. There's Sanvitale, and Laura Chung is still stuck back here mid-pack 21st. That's for 20th on Sanvitale. Then you have Williamson, and he's dropped back. Tegan Fox and Ludovic Charette are right near each other. They are battling. Trey, look at that. That's 2 drivers. Whoever finishes higher is in the in-season tournament. The other's not. They're nose to tail right now, 22 laps in to the Turkey Hill 400 at Pocono.
And you know that they know that, too. I mean, it's just one thing for the race position, but the other thing to get for that in-season tournament, and they're not going to give each other any room at all. And honestly, I think out of all the pairings, this might be the only battle that's really within a 2-3 positions of each other.
You have
they're
your
right
driver,
on top of each other, too.
You have Matthew Burnett, Noah Brady. There's Burnett, there's Brady a few cars back. Eli Bright between them is Burnett's teammate. So that could help Matthew Burnett out, but that's another battle. That's 28th and 31st place. Go back here, Jordan Stout having a bad day. Remember, he was very good at Charlotte, ran inside the top 10 all day, and could have won it. You have Joe Hendry back here. He's kind of struggling, but he is ahead of Fernandez by a few positions. You have Drew Webb trying to beat out Cam Wright Jr. Tyler Belladonna has no shot unless Levi Jones has issues. Johnny Cox trying to beat Joshua Cox. There's Chris Keselowski back here. There's Cam Wright Jr. There's Giacomo. There's Angel Gutierrez. So that's the field. It's still Spurley and Stapleton pulling away. 9 laps to go. They're still single file, nose to tail. Here's Chris Jericho trying to work up. He got by Levi Jones. Now he's trying to get by Jones' teammate Jack Haas. That would be for 5th place. Remember, Jericho, no top 5 yet this season. He could get it here today at Pocono. He moves into 5th and has a run for 4th on Jude Martinelli. This 54 is fast, but I just don't think he has the time to catch the front two who have such a big gap over 3rd on back.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think he has the speed, and the tires won't be there to come to the end of this thing. I think he could definitely get 3rd if he keeps up this pace right now, and might be sniffing 2nd, but I just think it's too much to overcome. As you can see him now just passing Jude Martinelli for 4th place, as he's going to be able to get a good exit here and hunt down the 18 of Bryce Egan. But I think 1st and 2nd are just too far out.
You know, Chris Jericho, looking at that spoiler, he got a lucky draw with the spoiler color that he got, because it's random, and I think they tried to maybe make it not blend in with the scheme. Obviously, they didn't work with Levi Shones. It kind of blends in pretty well there. But, pink and green go together pretty well. And Jericho's driving that pink and green machine up to the front of the field. Currently up to 4th place is battle for 5th. Jude Martinelli and Jack Haas go at it with Levi Shones looking middle there. That's a weird move. Oh. Well,
if the gap's there, Joe, you might as well go for it.
You might as well, yeah. And that was going to be on a teammate, though. That was going to be a little interesting. But this is a great battle for 5th place right here. Jack Haas, Jude Martinelli, Levi Shones, they're bringing Lathan Strickland and Jerry Chen right into it. So Haas gets to 5th, Martinelli back to 6th, Jones 7th, Chen 8th in a battle now with Lathan Strickland for that spot. The front two still pull away. They have 7 laps to go. Jericho has cut into the gap, right? Remember, he was, 4.8 seconds back. Now he's 3.5. So he's gained a 2nd and a 3rd on the front two. But he needs them to start battling to really gain even more. So he's now catching Bryce Egan for this 3rd position. Should be able to make quick work of that number 18 car. The question is, can Riley Spurgeon fend off Nathan Stapleton, or will the 75 have some heroics and something left for the final few laps of this race? Well, maybe he thinks he can start battling and not lose time to everyone behind.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear how much does Bryce Egan defend this run by the 54, and how much does Spurley Tube defend the 75. Stapleton looks like he's trying to get to the inside.
He got
might be
side
there.
draft.
A little bit of side draft. I can't tell if he's there or not. No, he's
not.
He's
going to tuck back in. That was so close. That was the closest he's been. But look at those guys cut out a half a second, and with 6 laps to go, that would put them basically on the bumper at the checkered flag. So if that keeps happening, and if this speed keeps coming from 3rd and 4th, maybe they could have a shot. All right, Nathan's going to get antsy here. He's going to want to pass at some point. He's not just going to push Riley Spurgeon home.
Right, no, yeah, exactly. It's just more of how much patience does Stapleton have to think at the same time, like, I need enough time for me to pass him, but at the same time, I need enough, I need not so much time that these guys can catch up, as Jericho finally got past him and is already starting to gap the 18 a little bit here. So this 54 does have the speed, but again, is it enough to catch these guys if they start the battle?
5 laps to go at Pocono. The gap between 2nd and 3rd last lap was about 2.8 seconds. Now it's 2.5. And that was with Jericho passing Bryce Egan. Does the 54 have enough to bring Egan up to this battle for the race win? We'll have to find out over the course of these final 5 laps. 2.5 seconds between 1st and 3rd. Martinelli back up to 5th by the Galway Automotive cars. Martinelli's teammate Lathan Strickland still in 8th. Go all the way back to 10th, still held by Matt Tuck. Battle for 11th. Torres and Zidell are going at it side by side. Gabe Willard's dropped. Mathis Wells with one of his best runs of the season, right when he needs it, trying to qualify for the in-season tournament. Tim Guerra would qualify as well. William Seaman would qualify. He's up inside the top 20. Laura Chung trying to gain some time. With Crown Jr. just behind her, they round out the top 20. Bad day for these two. Keegan Thompson, Brian Rodriguez, a Team Tucson Racing that has been so strong as of late. Ludovic Charette got by Tegan Fox. Look at this mess back here as these guys are racing hard. 2 of your guys are back here. Tegan Fox is trying to get back up towards Ludovic Charette, but it's too far back. Noah Brady trying to keep touch with Matthew Burnett further up the road as that number 51 is trying to get through the traffic. The 24 just a few cars in front of him. Back here, Drew Webb is bound with Cam Wright Jr. He has him by a few positions. Johnny Cox needs to get up to Joshua Cox. I don't know if that's going to work out. Joe Hendry has Anthony Hernandez by only 2 positions. So some of these battles are coming down to the wire, and down to the wire for the lead. Nathan Stapleton's low and is going to get by Riley Spurgeon to come back to 3 laps to go. Now Stapleton leads at Pocono, but Riley fighting back, not quite giving in, and Jericho licking his chops in 3rd, hoping he can try and close in.
I think he timed it pretty well. I mean, we saw that 75. He had the speed to get past 28. He just had to figure out when and where he was going to do it, Joe. And, I mean, look at the gap he's already put on to, Spurley Tube, as he's going to try to continue to build that. He's already at 0.2 of a second, Joe. But, hey, I mean, this 28's not going away that easy.
Well, and Chris Jericho gained 0.7 with that pass right there. He's basically in a range now where he's going to be getting a stiff draft down these straightaways, and with 3 to go, don't count out Jericho, especially if Riley gets some draft too and closes right back up on the 75. I mean, this could get interesting towards the end of this race, but with 3 to go, Otter Island Motorsports leads again. While Torres and Laura Chung are not having the best of days. Torres back in 12th. Laura Chung stuck all the way back outside the top 20 now. Nathan Stapleton is leading this race, looking for Otter Island's 5th team victory of the season. but with 2 to go, he can't rest easy because there are 3 cars coming up right behind him. It's Riley Spurgeon, Chris Jericho, and Bryce Egan. 2 laps to go, 5 miles left at Pocono. For Nathan Stapleton, he can try and take the points lead back if he has a good enough day here today.
Joe, I truly think Jericho might be able to get second place here, and depending if the 28 can get up to Stapleton, he might have a chance at this win, but the next couple of corners are going to be the ones to decide that right now, Joe. This 54 is fast. He's going to get the 28 here. He might look going into the tunnel turn. We'll have to see if he's greedy enough for it. He might just stay in line, Joe. Three might be his bread and butter right now.
I think he needs to make the pass right there. I think if he makes the pass there, he has enough time to catch Nathan Stapleton. Now I just don't know. I think he's going to have to push the 28 and hope that him pushing the 28 can get Riley close enough to Nathan that they start battling. Jericho can maybe make a move that way. Here we come through turn 3. Nathan Stapleton looking for his second victory of the season. When he won earlier this season at Montreal, it was by about 15 seconds. He doesn't have that luxury today as the white flag comes out. 2.5 miles to go, and just about 3/10 separate the top 2 positions. Jericho there in third, trying to push Sprayly Tube down to the inside of turn 1. Riley had a look. He wasn't close enough to make the move. Jericho getting a little impatient. He might go for second place, thinking that's his only shot at a position as they come up the back straightaway for the final time. Stapleton is now gapping Riley Sprayly to Chris Jericho and Bryce Egan. They're going to battle for third. Egan to the outside of Jericho into the tunnel turn as Stapleton pulls away from Riley Sprayly through the tunnel turn for the final time. Jericho keeps third. He's got one final shot for second place as Riley closes in. He has a run looking to the inside turn 3. Does he send it to the bottom? He's too far back to make it work. Stapleton moves up a lane, keeping his car under power all the way off 3 to the checker flag. Adrenaline Motorsports' 5th victory of the season. Stapleton does it here at Pocono.
Look how spread out everyone got here.
That's crazy.
I mean,
look at that.
Yeah, there they are. There they are. There's everyone else.
Ludovic Charette's going to beat her competitor, Tegan Fox. Matthew Burnett is going to beat Noah Brady. Joe Hendry, just in front of Hernandez at the checkered flag by a few positions, will beat him as well. Wow. Some of those were closer than I thought they would be, Trey. Oh.
Oh, no.
Crown Jr. on the white flag. He was running about 20th, and he blows up.
That terrible timing.
That really is, yeah. And he's, we had mentioned EKH Enterprises, they finish races. I think he did cross the checkered flag, so he will finish the race. But unfortunately for him, it just was not, it wasn't under power. But how about this team, Trey? I mean, they didn't look all that great today, besides Nathan Stapleton, but Otter Island Motorsports finds a way to win these races with one of their drivers. Laura Chung was running about 20th all day. Philip Torres was outside the top 10 all day. But Nathan Stapleton gets Benny Watson another win as a team owner.
Yeah, definitely. He's starting to get the momentum, Joe, and that's what you need right here. Is 75 is starting to rack up them wins, and that's what you are looking for as a team owner and as a driver. And we'll see how far they can take it. But Joe, clean race, and tires really came into it, and strategy played a big part.
Yeah, and you know what? With Stapleton finishing so well, he did lose a lot of points at Charlotte, and Laura Chung had a decent enough day. It's going to be very close in terms of the points. They're going to be very close. Those two teammates are right down after Pocono. But, yeah, what a race here today, as you mentioned. Clean race. It was good to see after what we saw at Charlotte. We we didn't want something like that happening here today at Pocono. And we got to see the leaders race it out all the way to the checker flag with no interruptions in the green flag running. And at the end of it, it was probably the best car and driver here today that won it, right? Nathan Stapleton, Otter Island Motorsports. They claimed victory and they get away, and Otter Island looking pretty good. Granted, Vision Motorsports had a pretty good day, and they should gain in terms of the team points just a little bit. But those two teams those two teams are starting to gap now, right? Tucson Racing they had Jericho finish well, but Keegan Thompson and Brian Rodriguez both barely finished inside the top 20. So it was a good day for Otter Island and Vision Motorsports in terms of trying to get away from the Tucson team behind.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're seeing more and more what the battles are going to be for not only driver standings but team standings and who the top dogs are going to be come near end of the season. And at this point, they just got to focus on continuing to build that, and the other guys have to focus on how to try to somewhat reel them back in.
Yep, it'll be a It'll be exciting. We're nearing the midpoint of the season. It'll be an exciting second half of the season for sure. We'll see how that all plays out. Well, now let's go take a look at the finish results from the Turkey Hill 400 at Pocono. So here's how they finished in the Pocono Raceway Turkey Hill 400, with Stapleton winning the race. Riley Spurrier, who led the most laps today, will have to settle for second, but definitely a big confidence booster for EKH Enterprises, showing that they have race-winning pace here today. Chris Jericho's first top 5 of the season will definitely make that 54 driver feel good in third. Bryce Egan and Jude Martinelli round out the top 5, so good day for all those drivers. Jerry Chen moves up to finish in 6th. Levi Schultz from pole ends up in 7th with his teammate Jack Haas in 8th. Lathan Strickland in 9th, and Matt Tuck rounds out the top 10 for Vision Motorsports. As we go through the rest of the finishing positions, we'll quickly go through who won each matchup here of the 11 matchups and who's in the in-season tournament. So you have Chris Jericho, he beat Angel Gutierrez. Ludovic Charette beats Tegan Fox. Matthew Burnett beats Noah Brady. Levi Jones beats Tyler Belladonna. Robert Ashford, in an upset, beats Ryan Wilson. You have Joshua Cox beating Johnny Cox. William Seaman beats Chris Keselowski. Joe Hendry upsets Anthony Hernandez. Mathis Wells upsets teammate Alex Sanvatale. Cam Wright Jr. beats Drew Webb by just 0.4 of a second in this race to qualify, and Tim Gary upsets Bruno Diacmo to get his way in as well. Those 11 drivers will be seeded by their points position after Pocono, so they'll be seeded 21st to 31st in the in-season tournament. So with that out of the way now, we'll go take a look at the point standings, and it is now very, very close. Laura Chung had started to pull away, but now her points lead is gone because it's Nathan Stapleton moving into the points lead by a single point over Laura Chung. Then only 11 points back is Brian Rodriguez, only 19 points back is Jerry Chen. So those top 4 still continue to be oh so close, trying to fight for that regular season championship for the bonus points there for the chase. Bryce Egan up inside the top 5 with Max Davis dropping out. Jack Haas still in 7th. Riley Spurrier moving up to 8th. Keegan Thompson down to 9th, and Gabe Willard holds that final spot at 10th. He holds it by 13 points over Lathan Strickland and Jude Martinelli. The teammates are tied there. Crown Jr. drops after his not DNF, but his engine issue here today at the Pocono Raceway, as he's now way back in 13th in points. Philip Torres and Eli Bright are there, along with Matt Tuck. Zachary DeLello, Chris Jericho up inside the top 20, trying to gain some more. Zidell and Jacob Miller also inside the top 20. The 2 wildcards still Eli Bright and Matt Tuck, and we'll see if that continues to be the case. Levi Schoen still has a case to try and get one if he gets another win or gets up there towards Eli. Remember, Matt Tuck is locked in because of his all-star win, so we'll see if he gets inside the top 10 in points or if he has to take up a wildcard spot. Anthony Hernandez is struggling at this stage, down to 30th in points with his victory from Road America. Now the team points after 15 races, and it's still tightening up at the front. 70 points just about separate Vision Motorsports and Otter Island Motorsports. Tucson Racing still hanging in there. EKH Enterprises and Galway Automotive are just a point apart, and only 7 points behind that battle is Fos Aldersport. Southern Cross Racing starting to kind of crumble at this stage of the season. Mean Motorsports staying ahead of Ace Motorsports for now. Land Motorsports holding out the final top 10 spot ahead of Crispy Fried Racing Ventures, Red Lightning Racing, Fitzwater Australia, and OSC Racing. So Trey, final thoughts from the Pocono Raceway. It was a very competitive race among the top teams, but in the end, Otter Island finds a way to win their 5th race of the season.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's the main rival of everyone in the field is Otter Island. I mean, they're so good, and every racetrack we go to that I think it's everyone's objective to find a way to try to beat them. But at this point, I don't think it is possible to beat them, Joe. They're just too strong. But overall, the race was pretty good. Like we mentioned, it was clean and green, and a lot of strategy came into play there, and the faster car came out on top. So I don't think you could ask for anything else.
Oh, it was definitely a good change after what we saw at Charlotte with all the chaos and craziness that was going on, all the damage that went on there. We had cars that were completely clean. The only just 2 mechanical issues: Crown Junior's engine, and it was a fuel leak on the 48 that they had to patch up early on in this one. Well, next time out on JRTV, the start of the in-season tournament. 31 drivers. In fact, it'll be 30 drivers battling there as Laura Chung gets that. Obviously, she gets a week off in terms of the in-season tournament. She's locked into the second round. But Vancouver Short Track Racing for the start of the in-season tournament. That'll be a fun one there. That'll be next Monday on JRTV, so tune in then. And then 2 weeks' time, I believe, at Chicagoland, that'll be a Sunday night race under the lights for the second in-season tournament race. So tune in next 2 weeks on JRTV. It's going to be a fun few races for the in-season tournament. See who can claim that, and then we'll focus on the race of the chase after that. Today, though, it's focused on Nathan Stapleton, Benny Watson's team, Otter Island Motorsports. They claim victory for the 5th time this season. It's Stapleton's 2nd victory of the season. Congratulations to the whole team on a great day for them. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long from the Pocono Raceway.